Flag warnings today. The wind isn't strong enough consistently. It's gusting to 15 miles per hour right now. However, it is still pretty dry, and we have these spotty showers that the fire crews said push the fire northward towards Wetmore yesterday, and we have a little bit of shower activity near Bishop Castle, it looks like, and one lightning strike there. So that can create some erratic wind that's highly unpredictable for fire crews, and it can push the fire in a different direction that's not necessarily planned for. But the very good news is that humidity is going to start to recover really nicely during our nighttime hours, and even tomorrow afternoon, above 20%. That is great news. It's still pretty dry, but last week we had single-digit humidity values in Beulah and at that fire. So this week we are going to see some significant change in at least some moisture available, and we could actually get some rain on the fire. I'll talk about that here coming up. Just note that this smoke is going to stay bad tonight, especially in the Wet Mountain Valley and Fremont County. Alice, is poor across southern Colorado because of the smoke being emitted from the Aspen Acres wildfire. From Canyon City, the whole entire horizon is just shrouded in this layer of smoke. You can barely see where the mountains are, where the fire is burning. And so we do have air quality alerts in place until at least tomorrow morning for mostly the upper Arkansas River, the Wet Mountain Valley. Again, the Aspen Acres fire is burning in southwestern Pueblo County and eastern Custer County. So that's where the conditions are the worst. However, if you feel like you're being impacted by this poor air quality, it's best to take precautions even if you're not technically under an air quality alert. Keep the windows closed. Indoor workouts would be better. When you're outside exerting yourself, you're breathing in more of this smoky air. So maybe just a quick walk with the dog during these conditions. And if you have respiratory illness, just remain inside. We're still very dry today. Humidity less than 20% across the majority of the region. So it's dry, but it's not too windy. So we don't have red flag warnings this afternoon, but still hard for the firefight. It's hot outside. It's 98 degrees in Pueblo, 92 in Colorado City. We are in the upper 80s in Beulah at last check. So it is in the dead heat of summer right now. It's definitely feeling like July, and this week overall is going to be hot. Tonight will drop to the 50s and 60s, and then tomorrow we're talking 80s, 90s, couple triple digits. Once again, our heat isn't really going away. It'll ease up a little bit by Thursday, Friday, before really increasing by this weekend, and next week is looking boiling hot pretty much all week long. So this little bit of relief Thursday, Friday will be much needed. And through the later part of this week, we're going to have moisture over Colorado that's recycled over a couple of days. And that actually gives us a chance of rain, and that rain would of course be much needed at the Aspen Acres fire. Going into tomorrow afternoon, showers will start up in the mountains. They're going to be really slow moving. We don't have any jet stream overhead, so they're going to be dropping rainfall to I-25 closer to dinner time. A few of these showers will make it into the plains, but again, they're going to be moving really slowly. And when you have fresh rain on top of a very hotly burned burn scar, we have a very high risk of debris flows. So now there's an additional risk as evacuees go home from the Aspen Acres fire that flash flood warnings need to be taken very seriously. These debris flows can happen within minutes. You need to have multiple ways to receive warnings. And if you get a flash flood warning in the burn scar area, you need to seek higher. Last week, the worst time for a fire to start, and because of those extreme fire weather conditions, this fire is now the seventh largest in terms of acreage in Colorado state history at 91,523 acres burned so far. So this perimeter map shows the expanse of southwestern Pueblo, eastern Custer County that this fire has burned up into. Now, not everything within this boundary is going to be completely burned. Fires tend to burn in a patchwork. Now, as far as conditions go in Beulah, the sensor there is still definitely working. It's 86 degrees, 17% humidity, southwest winds gusting to 16 miles per hour. It's not windy enough for red flag warnings today. However, if we get these spotty showers and storms near the fire area today, that can create stronger wind gusts. I'm not seeing anything active right now, so that's good news. Other good news is that humidity will recover very nicely overnight at the fire, and it's not going to go down too low tomorrow. In fact, there's a couple chances of some good soaking rain at the fire this week. I'll talk about the rain forecast coming up in more detail. Incredibly hazy today from wildfire smoke from the Aspen Acres fire. We're not seeing that distinct, really intense smoke plume that we saw daily last week. The fire is definitely still very active on the west and north side of the fire, according to fire officials in a press conference today, and it's still outputting this smoke, so you can kind of barely see each layer of the mountains here from Canyon City. And I am expecting especially Fremont, Custer County, and Pueblo County, of course, to see this smoke lingering and settling down tonight in our mountain valley zones. There's an air quality alert in place until at least tomorrow morning. So in Colorado Springs, I feel like I'm feeling the effects of the smoke today. We're not technically under air quality alert, but if you're feeling that, keep your windows closed and do your best to prevent yourself from breathing too much outdoor air. An indoor workout is better, just a quick walk with the dog. And if you have respiratory illness, certainly stay inside at this time. Today has been very dry, especially in the fire zone. Only 11 to 12% humidity towards Pueblo, Colorado City right now, but it hasn't been too windy, so that has prevented us from having red flag warnings today. Certainly has been hot, still hot this afternoon, 70s, 80s, and 90s across the region. Tonight will drop to the 50s and 60s, and then tomorrow, 80s, 90s, triple digits. We're in the thick of the summer heat, and it's going to be with us for the majority of this week. We'll get a little break from the above average temperatures by Friday, but then temperatures surge over the weekend. Next week is looking really hot, but this week we'll have a little bit of a cool down, and we have some recycled moisture around our ridge of high pressure that's going to keep storm chances in the forecast, especially Tuesday through Friday. So let's go through the futurecast at least for Tuesday, tomorrow. Showers will spark up first in the mountains. They're going to be really slow moving because we really don't have a jet stream overhead right now. We don't have much wind to push these storms off the higher terrain. But once they do so by mid to late afternoon and into the dinner hour, we'll get some nice shower activity, spotty for I-25 and the plains. I'm not concerned about severe weather tomorrow, maybe some gusty wind and some lightning, but if we could get a nice shower at the Aspen Acres fire, that would certainly help. And we've got a couple chances of rain at the burn scar here this week, but that does leave us with an additional threat, and that would be debris flow and flash flooding. When you have a really hot fire like the Aspen Acres fire, it creates this hydrophobic soil, so runoff happens within minutes, and there's really nothing to stop it. So have ways to receive warnings if there's a flash flood alert at the burn scar, and if you're coming back from evacuation we've had today, initially you think, okay, that's good, we need rain, but we're so dry at the surface, a lot of that rain is evaporating before hitting the ground, and it's certainly not doing any good if the rain misses the fire and it just creates erratic wind. That's what caused the northward push of the fire last night. Good news right now is wind is pretty light across the region, only gusting around 10 to 15 miles per hour, and the lighter wind is what kept us from red flag warnings today. It's dry enough for red flag warnings. It's only 11% humidity in Pueblo. It's 96 degrees, feels very toasty out still. Haze in the distance from the smoke still being emitted from this active fire. So especially into the Wet Mountain Valley, Fremont County, that's where we're going to have some of the thickest smoke near the surface tonight. A little bit lighter smoke activity in the plains. I do expect that to again pick back back up tomorrow with further fire activity. So smoke is still going to remain in our sky. So if you're feeling susceptible to it, it's been in our air for past week. Keep your windows closed, limit your outdoor activities as much as you can, check on youth and older adults, and be extra careful if you have respiratory illness. I'm going to talk about these thunderstorm chances in more detail coming up because the moisture is increasing, so humidity will be higher. We could actually get some rain on the fire. I'll have the details coming up. Definitely a hazy afternoon with continued smoke output from fires burning in Colorado, especially here in the Pikes Peak region, the Arkansas River Valley. It's the Aspen Acres fire that's bringing us this smoke. So it's going to be another hazy red sunset tonight. There are air quality alerts in place in our region as well as across Colorado because of active wildfires. These are in place until at least tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., not including the Pikes Peak region right now, but air quality is moderate and you can clearly see the smoke, and I even feel like I've been feeling it today. So just make your best assessment of how much outdoor time you can withstand with this smoke remaining in the air. It's going to settle down into our mountain valleys tonight, especially the Wet Mountain Valley in Fremont County. And then with continued fire activity tomorrow, especially at the Aspen Acres fire, it will output more smoke. It's still going to be hazy tomorrow afternoon. Meanwhile, today was hot. It was also dry. The only reason we didn't have red flag warnings is because it wasn't that windy. Our high was 92 in the Springs, average high is 86. 98 was our high in Pueblo today, about 4 degrees above average. We're going to stay nice and hot tomorrow. Temperatures tonight will fall to the 50s and 60s. Highs on Tuesday, 80s, 90s, and a couple triple digits. And for the most part this week, it is going to be quite toasty. However, we get some heat relief Thursday, Friday, back to near average. And then the heat returns big time by this weekend. And next week is looking really hot as well. We'll get a slight cool down, plus we're recycling some moisture around this ridge of high pressure this week, and that will help increase storm chances for us. So our humidity will rise and it will recover very well overnight. That really helps the fire crews at the Aspen Acres fire, of course. And then we could actually get some rain on the fire this week as humidity rises. Not looking at those dry thunderstorm chances like we had the past couple of days. For Tuesday afternoon, some good old-fashioned rain likely falling in the mountains and I-25. Some of those showers make it to the plains. And again on Wednesday, those spotty showers spark up in the higher elevations early on in the afternoon. They'll drift towards I-25, then move to the eastern plains. I'm not really concerned about severe weather in the next few days. Mostly just lightning and gusty wind and heavy rainfall would be the main hazards. Maybe some small hail. But something else to keep in mind is these showers are going to be moving really slow. And when you have fresh rain on a burn scar, that can lead to debris flow and flash flooding within minutes. These areas are highly susceptible to these flash flooding conditions. So at the Aspen Acres fire this week and probably for the rest of summer, we're going to be really concerned about any flash flood warnings. So make sure you have ways to receive those warnings. If you're heading back to your home, if you're lucky enough to be able to do that this week or in the coming weeks. And if you get a flash flood warning, you need to seek higher ground. Friday, good chance of an afternoon shower either day. Of course, that could provide some gusty wind for fire crews, but this looks like much higher humidity values, so a lot of that rain will actually hit the ground versus the past couple of days where we've had spotty showers that a lot of the rain evaporated and we just got gusty wind. So looking at our current fire scenario in Beulah, it's 75 degrees right now, 22% humidity, very light wind, only gusting to 9 miles per hour, gusting to 3 San Isabel, 6 in Colorado City. So wind, the ambient wind isn't a huge problem in the coming days, and humidity is becoming less of a problem as well. It was in the teen percentage range today. It'll rise overnight and only drop into maybe 20% as a lower value for tomorrow afternoon. Plus, we do have those storm chances, but we still have the lingering issue of air quality. We at least have these air quality alerts in place until Tuesday at 9 a.m. I will have the smoke forecast coming up. Companion for the past week in southern Colorado. It's left our sunrises and sunsets bright red, and it's left our air quality poor. So it's best to just reduce your time outside whenever conditions are like this. Our current air quality alerts cover Pueblo County up through Fremont County, the Upper Arkansas River, and Custer County. Not technically here in the Pikes Peak region, but I feel like I've felt the impacts of the smoke today. It's definitely been bothering me a little bit, so just kind of use your best judgment with these air quality alerts. It is going to get a bit better in the Plains and the Pikes Peak region tonight, but it's still going to stay pretty bad into our interior mountain valleys like the Wet Mountain Valley, Upper Arkansas River. And with more fire activity expected at Aspen Acres tomorrow, more smoke will be emitted, and it'll just keep lingering around our area here and kind of spread into the eastern plains with at least a light haze through Tuesday evening. So when we have this poor air quality with wildfire smoke, it's best to keep your windows closed. Indoor workouts are better, and a quick walk with the dog versus a long leisurely walk is advised. And if you have respiratory illness, stay inside as much as possible. It was hot today. 92 was our high in the Springs, 98 in Pueblo. So we were above average. We'll stay above average tomorrow. Tonight we'll drop to the 50s and 60s. And on Tuesday, 80s, 90s, triple digits along the Arkansas River. So 99 in Pueblo tomorrow. Very hot conditions for firefighters. Good news, though, is that we do get some heat relief by the end of the week. We'll be back down to seasonable temperatures on Thursday and Friday before another surge of summer heat over the weekend and into next week. Plus, we are going to see some better moisture circulating and recycled over Colorado in the next couple of days under our ridge of high pressure. High pressure keeps us warm, but this moisture being trapped up in that high does allow us for these daily warmth-driven thunderstorms. So showers will spark up due to the heating of the day, helped by our terrain, first in the mountains by the early afternoon, and they'll slowly drift eastward. Emphasis on slowly because we don't really have a jet stream in place. So there'll be spotty showers slowly moving eastward through the region. Our main hazards would be lightning and gusty wind, but these showers are actually expected to bring us precipitation for the spots who do see them. So that was Tuesday's Futurecast. On Wednesday, much of the same. Slow moving showers and storms start up in the mountains, gradually move into the plains by the evening hours. So unfortunately, that does bring an additional hazard to the Aspen Acres fire. Initially, yes, we do need the rain. We need that moisture to help out fire crews. But as evacuees get to go back home in the next weeks and really continuing over the next few months, we're going to have a high risk of flash flooding at the burn scar. We'll have risk of debris flow downhill. This can happen in minutes because on this burn scar, there's hydrophobic soil, meaning it will repel water almost immediately. Plus, there's plenty of burnt ash and debris that will just flow with the water. So for this week and in the coming weeks, if you're in the Aspen Acres burn scar,